Good morning everybody. I am Dr. Nitin Joshi, Professor in Neurology with teaching experience of 25 years. Today we will discuss short note on RAS. RAS, that is renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system. It is a hormone system consisting of three hormones, namely renin, angiotensin II and aldosterone. Of these three hormones, angiotensin II hormone is most important and it is most active hormone. Majority of the actions of the RAS is through hormone angiotensin II. Now hormone renin. Hormone renin is synthesized by the JG cells or granular cells or the Pulky's cells of JJ apparatus. It is synthesized in the precursor form or pro-hormone, that is prorenin. It is glycoprotein in nature consisting of 340 amino acids. Synthesis of renin is stimulated by decrease in extracellular fluid volume, decreased blood volume, decreased perfusion pressure, decreased blood pressure. Also by sympathetic stimulation, mainly beta adrenoreceptors, so beta agonist, decreased sodium chloride intake and decreased load presented to macula densa of sodium chloride. While renin synthesis is inhibited by increase in extracellular fluid volume, increase in blood volume, increase in perfusion pressure, increase in systemic blood pressure, inhibition of sympathetic nervous system, beta blockers, increased intake of sodium chloride, increased load of sodium chloride presented to macula densa, also inhibited by increased angiotensin II, antidiuretic hormone and atrial natriuretic peptide. Hormone renin, though it is hormone, it acts like enzyme. It is protease type of enzyme and it acts on a substrate angiotensinogen. Substrate angiotensinogen is alpha-2 globulin synthesized in liver. Due to action of renin, angiotensinogen gets converted into angiotensin 1. Angiotensin 1 gets converted into angiotensin 2 by angiotensin converting enzyme. Angiotensin converting enzyme is synthesized in lung, in entire body endothelial cell vascular bed and also present in plasma. This conversion of angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2, that is brought about by the converting enzyme, can be blocked by ACE inhibitors or angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors like captopril, ramipril, enalapril. These are a type of antihypertensive group of drugs. Angiotensin II, which is formed, is the most important hormone as it is most active. It acts on two receptors, that is angiotensin type 1 receptor and type 2 receptor. These receptors can be blocked by the blockers and they are called as angiotensin receptor blockers, which are again type of antihypertensive drugs. Now the angiotensin II, which is formed, it is responsible for one, and that is control of extracellular fluid volume, blood volume and blood pressure because of its systemic actions. The systemic actions of angiotensin II, which controls BP, are one, and that is vasoconstrictor action, and second, that is volume expansion action, which is brought directly or indirectly. Now first, that is vasoconstrictor action, directly or indirectly. Directly, this is because angiotensin II has action on the vascular smooth muscle, particularly of the arterioles, causing vasoconstriction, and is much more potent vasoconstrictor than the noradrenaline, causing vasoconstriction and hence increased peripheral resistance. Also, angiotensin II indirectly causes vasoconstriction. This is because of its action on the hypothalamic nuclei. It acts on the hypothalamic sympathetic nuclei, causing increased stimulation of the sympathetic nuclei of hypothalamus, which in turn causes stimulation of sympathetic nuclei in the vasomotor center of medulla oblongata, Because of stimulation of sympathetic nuclei of the medulla oblongata, there is more and more stimulation of postganglionic sympathetic nerve endings, causing more and more release of noradrenaline at the end of postganglionic sympathetic nerve endings. Noradrenaline acts on the alpha-1 adrenoreceptor of vascular smooth muscle, causing generalized vasoconstriction. So directly and indirect effect of angiotensin II is vasoconstriction, that is increased peripheral resistance, and blood pressure is equal to peripheral resistance into cardiac output. While the systemic action of the angiotensin II, that is volume expansion, will result into the increase in the cardiac output, because angiotensin II has got direct and indirect action on the two target organs, namely kidney and brain. Angiotensin II has got direct action on the proximal converted tubule, causing increased sodium reabsorption and hence secondary increased water reabsorption from the proximal converted tubule. Indirectly, angiotensin II acts on the zona glomerulosa of adrenal cortex, causing increased release of aldosterone. Aldosterone acts on the proximal part of the distal converted tubule, causing cation exchange where there will be more and more absorption of the sodium in exchange of hydrogen and potassium from the proximal part of the distal converted tubule, causing increased water reabsorption. Overall effect is increase in the extracellular fluid. The second target organ is brain, where it mainly acts on various nuclei present in the hypothalamus. First, it acts on the thirst receptors present in the hypothalamus, which is responsible for increased conscious desire for water intake. Stimulation of the thirst receptor results into increased water intake. Secondly, it also stimulates the supraoptic and paraventricular nuclei of hypothalamus, causing increased synthesis and release of antidiuretic hormone. Antidiuretic hormone, that is vasopressin, principally acts on the vasopressin 2 receptors present principally on the principal cells of the collecting tubule and collecting duct, partly on the distal part of the distal converted tubule. Vasopressin combines with the vasopressin 2 receptor, forming hormone receptor complex. Due to formation of hormone receptor complex, there is increased stimulation of the enzyme adenyl cyclase, which is through the increased activation of GTP protein. So increased stimulation of GTP protein binding activity causes stimulation of adenyl cyclase, causing increased formation of secondary messenger, that is 3-5 cyclic AMP, due to conversion of ATP by adenyl cyclase into 3-5 cyclic AMP. This results into increased protein kinase A. Increased protein kinase A responsible for increased synthesis of vesicles, which are rich in the aquaporin 2 water channel proteins. Thus, fusion of this aquaporin 2 water channel proteins to the luminal side results into increased permeability of water across the cell membrane. So, there is increased entry of water from the tubular lumen into the tubular cells. While from the basolateral side, due to presence of aquaporin 3 and aquaporin 4 channels, there is passive diffusion from the cell into peritubular fluid. Overall effect, increased water intake due to increased thirst, and because of ADH hormone action on the vasopressin 2 of the principal cells, there will be increased facultative reabsorption of water. Overall effect, increased water retention. Also, angiotensin II stimulates the neurosecretory cells of the hypothalamus for the secretion of corticotrophin releasing hormone, which is carried from hypothalamus to anterior pituitary via hypothalamo-hypopituitary portal circulation, stimulates corticotrophs, causing increased release of ACTH. ACTH stimulates adrenal cortex, but the role in the synthesis of aldosterone is very minimal. Mainly it is responsible for stimulation of the synthesis and release of glucocorticoid. Overall effect, what we have seen is angiotensin II is responsible for maintenance of extracellular fluid, blood volume, and hence the JJ apparatus and RAS has got role in the hypertensive models described by Goldblatt. that is type 1 and type 2, that is 2 kidney 1 clip model and 1 kidney 1 clip model. Also, the RAS has got role in the regulation of glomerular filtration, and glomerular filtration is the ultimate reflection of the kidney function. This is because angiotensin 2 has got local action in the kidney. It has got action on the efferent arterioles, that is, it has got preferential vasoconstrictor action on the efferent arteriole as compared to afferent arteriole. This is because the vasoconstrictor action on the afferent and efferent is same, but in case of afferent arteriole, vasoconstrictor action of angiotensin 2 is counteracted by the vasodilatory substance which are present, particularly prostaglandin E2, endothelin derived nitrous oxide, as well as the atrial natriuretic peptide and dopamine. So there's preferential vasoconstrictor action on the efferent arteriole, causing increased resistance to the flow of blood through the glomerulus, thus increased driving force and hence increased effective filtration pressure, and hence the angiotensin 2, its local action on the efferent arteriole, maintains the glomerular filtration rate. Also, JJ apparatus and RAS play important role in tubuloglomerular feedback mechanism. Tubuloglomerular feedback mechanism plays important role in renal autoregulation. Renal autoregulation is important mechanism controlling the renal blood flow, and glomerular filtration rate is directly proportional to or dependent on renal blood flow. Thus, JJ apparatus and RAS is responsible for maintenance of glomerular filtration rate. Now the application of RAS in one, that is the renovascular hypertension and ischemic nephropathy. Now whenever there is clinically significant renal artery stenosis, that is more than 70 to 75%, then beyond the renal artery stenosis, because of narrowing of the lumen, there will be decreased blood flow, thus there is hypoperfusion, and because of hypoperfusion, in order to maintain the renal circulation and glomerular filtration rate, there will be stimulation of renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system. Thus, there will be locally increased angiotensin 2. Angiotensin 2, what we have seen, it has got preferential action on the efferent arteriole, and so because of this action, even if this hypoperfusion beyond the renal artery stenosis, that is narrowing, still because of increased vasoconstriction of the efferent arteriole, there will be increased resistance to the flow through efferent arteriole, hence there will be increased resistance to flow through glomerulus, thus increased driving force, and hence there will be increased effective filtration pressure, causing maintenance of glomerular filtration rate. But systemically, the angiotensin 2 will have two effects, and that is vasoconstrictor action and volume expansion. Overall effect, because of this angiotensin 2, there will be aggravation of hypertension, there will be progression of hypertension, it may result into malignant hypertension. And at this stage, if one uses the angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors like ramipril, captopril, enalapril, where they prevent the action of angiotensin converting enzyme, so they prevent the conversion of angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2. As a result, there is no angiotensin 2, so preferential vasoconstrictor action of angiotensin 2 is blocked, while angiotensin receptor blockers like losartan potassium or telmisartan, they will block the action of angiotensin 2. Overall effect, both the group of antihypertensive drugs will prevent the action of angiotensin 2, which is preferential vasoconstrictor action on the efferent arteriole. Overall effect, the protective driving action of the angiotensin 2 is lost. As a result, though the blood pressure, systemic blood pressure may be controlled, because of loss of the protective driving action, the effective filtration pressure will fall, and hence there will be fall in the significant glomerular filtration rate, and so there will be precipitation of acute renal failure or acute kidney injury. This is the physiological basis for the captopril renogram to confirm the patient having the clinically significant renal artery stenosis. That is, following captopril, if the patient is having significant renal artery stenosis, locally there will be stimulation of renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system, and so this glomerular filtration rate is maintained because of preferential vasoconstrictor action on the efferent arteriole. If the captopril is given, then the conversion of angiotensin 2 to angiotensin 2 is blocked. So the action of angiotensin 2 on efferent arteriole is blocked. So the driving force, which is a protective effect, is lost, and hence the effective filtration pressure is decreased, and glomerular filtration rate is equal to the Kf into effective filtration pressure. And thus, in case of captopril renogram, post captopril, there will be fall in glomerular filtration rate. Now, next role of renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system is in the renal fibrosis, reduction in the renal mass, and progression of renal failure. So, whenever there is chronic stimulation, that is any pathology of the kidney which causes obstruction to the renal vascular bed, will result into stimulation of renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system. This aldosterone is also responsible for renal fibrosis. This is because aldosterone is responsible for one, that is increase in the reactive oxygen species, responsible for increased expression of transforming growth factor beta. The transforming growth factor beta is responsible for inhibition of MMPs, that is matrix metalloproteases, and matrix metalloproteases are responsible for the degradation of extracellular matrix. Also, directly the aldosterone has got action on the corticoid receptor present in the vascular smooth muscle, causing vascular fibrosis. Now, whenever there is increased angiotensin 2, there will be increased aldosterone, and increased angiotensin 2 will result into increased expression of certain cytokines and increase in certain growth factors. These growth factors are transforming growth factor beta and basic fibroblast growth factor. Now, whenever there is increase in the cytokines and various growth factors, in the response to the cytokines and growth factors, there will be increase in the size and number of mesangial cells. Increase in the size, that is hypertrophy and hyperplasia of the mesangial cells. These mesangial cells, which are intraglomerular mesangial cells, they support and surround the capillary loops. And in presence of angiotensin 2, these mesangial cells, glomerular mesangial cells, contract. As a result of contraction, they are responsible for distortion and invasion of the capillary loop. So, increased size number and increased contraction will cause more and more distortion and invasion of capillary loops. This results into decrease in the surface area and volume of capillary loops. Now, the Kf, that is filtration coefficient of the glomerular membrane, depends upon two factors, and that is surface area of the capillary loops and the permeability of the glomerular membrane. Whenever there is hypertrophy and hyperplasia of the mesangial cells, glomerular mesangial cells, there will be decrease in the surface area of capillary loop, hence decrease in the Kf and hence decrease in the glomerular filtration rate. Also, whenever there is hypertrophy and hyperplasia of mesangial cells, they are responsible for increased synthesis and deposition of extracellular matrix. Also, angiotensin 2 is responsible for increased expression of transforming growth factor beta, and we have seen that transforming growth factor beta, whether it is through angiotensin 2 or aldosterone, is responsible for decrease in the activity of MMPs, that is decrease in the activity of matrix metalloproteases, which are responsible for the degradation of extracellular matrix. Overall effect, increased deposition of extracellular matrix but decreased degradation of extracellular matrix, resulting into increased accumulation of extracellular matrix, causing decrease in the permeability of the glomerular membrane, and thus reduction in the Kf, that is filtration coefficient, and JFR is equal to Kf into effective filtration pressure. Overall effect, there is fall in the glomerular filtration rate. So, mesangial cells, in the response to even the basic Fibroblast growth factor is responsible for increased synthesis and deposition of collagen fibers, causing fibrosis. As a result, overall effect, chronic activation of FRAS causing increased angiotensin II, increased aldosterone will result into the renal fibrosis, reduction in the renal mass, and over a period there will be deterioration of the renal function because of fall in glomerular filtration rate through glomerulosclerosis. And so in order to prevent the rapid renal fibrosis, reduction in the renal mass, fall in the glomerular filtration rate, present day therapeutic approach is preventing the formation of angiotensin II by use of angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors like captopril, enalapril and ramipril, or blocking the action of the angiotensin II through angiotensin receptor blockers like losartan potassium or telmisartan, so as to prevent the progression of various renal pathologies like the CKD. Thank you very much.